Okay, and we're live. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining in another Crystallize event. I'm here once more, joined by Håkon, our head of engineering.
Hello.
And today we'll be talking about Core Web Vitals, how we measure it, what it is, essentially if you're not familiar, and how Crystallize plays a big role in that. So welcome. If you have any questions, feel free. You can send a question in the chat. I'll try to keep track of that, and we'll try to answer that in real time, as much as we can at least. So Håkon, the stage is yours. You want to give a small introduction on that?
Yes, please. Yeah, this is one of my favorite topics. So yeah, let's get on this topic. So Core Web Vitals. First of all, difficult to pronounce. Right?
Yep.
Web followed by vitals. I always struggle with that. Really hard. Anyway, so let me share my screen real quick because I want to immediately share a really useful website to everyone who wants to know what the Core Web Vitals is. Just give me a second. I think that's
you got it.
Yeah. So Core Web Vitals are a set of metrics for websites. And if you don't know already, there's a website specifically designated to this, web.dev/vitals. And you can go there to learn and everything that is essential for your Web Vitals. So it is an effort from Google to try to, try to communicate some very important metrics a bit easier to a bit more understandable to everybody. In the past, developers have struggled to get management, particularly, to understand the importance of things like performance and things like time to interactive and all of these really technical terms. And Web Vitals is sort of trying to solve that by offering three really vital metrics for websites. Let's dive into that real quick and I'll explain if they don't make sense. So we have three metrics that is super important. So if your website was on the hospital, the monitor on the side that shows all of the nice graphs and it will, make sound if something's bad, will show you these three. And that's the largest contentful paint, which has got to do with loading. That was from the moment you enter something in the address bar of your browser till you get the biggest paint, like something visual on screen. The next is about interactivity. It's called the first input delay. It's for how long time the delay is from when you press something until the first input is registered and you get some feedback. So obviously you want as low score as possible on that one. The last one is recently introduced as a concept. It's about visual stability. And it's a metric that I've been sort of missing for a while. And I'm really happy to see it getting here. It's about how much of the layout that will jump during load of the application. And I guess, Stavros, that you've visited websites and you've seen the initial paint, and then after some time, everything just jumps around, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
And that's
so
always
this is where this comes in place, I guess, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and this sort of jumping around and all that's probably just images loading, media putting up, and all that. But it is so frustrating as a user if you're on a web page and suddenly you lose your position, your scroll position is gone due to some image loading elsewhere on the screen. So I'm really happy that we got these three. And if you make sure that all of these three metrics are within the green zone, then you're on a very good path for user success. So Essentially, yes, exactly. Just do it. Just do it. It's not it's not always easy to do, but I think it's really nice now that we have a way to both like a standard way of measuring things like this, and there's also a bunch of tools to help you measure as well. So, and just to say, if you stay within the green zone of all of these guys, you are providing your users with better user experience. They're going to be happier. If you're running an e-commerce, they're going to, probably going to be happier throughout the shopping experience. They might buy more. The conversion rates might go up, and they will share, to their friends more. It will also rank better in Google or other search engines that value these metrics. So, for instance, the faster you are, the higher up in the rankings you get, and the better bounce rate, which means the more people that go into your page or to your site and stay there, the higher up in the ratings you go. And also, it has an effect on Google ad pricing, for instance. So,
that's an important part, because it's something that's often overseen, I'd say, overlooked. So, and it's not that widely known, I would say. So I've said that to a couple of people when in chats or whatever, and people didn't know that actually you can pay like almost 2 times the price or more.
Yeah, true.
Right.
Yeah. So they do have they do calculate more than just like web vitals, or I think it's specifically performance into that. But if, the better performance you have on your website, the less you will pay net costs, right? And the more ads you can have, and then all of these things sort of accumulate and will sort of lead to more traffic, which will lead to higher ranking, which will lead to even more traffic, and it's like it all builds up.
Exactly.
So, yeah. So it's sort of our job as developers to try to sell this to the higher ups to get more time and sort of at least get the vitals in place. So that's sort of the concept of the vitals. So how to test? Well, we usually use the online tool, again, from Google, PageSpeed Insights. It's also in DevTools, but this is the online version, which anyone can use on their phone. You don't have to have Chrome to do this, so this is very nice. So in this, you will get some indication of a few of the web vitals in here. You see, got some actual lab data for this request that we did, but it also gives you a what do you call it? An origin summary. Essentially, it's real users reporting back on these guys, picked up by Google. So you can actually see how things perform on this run and on the last 28 days. So very, very useful stuff. And I think you can, of course, go into details in performance and all of that, but let's just stick to this for now, and we can do another webinar on more specific performance or other metrics that we could do potentially. But this is the tool that you need. You do get variable results. So I was getting a poor of 89 now for our own website. Let's try again, because I know we can do better. And it's using Lighthouse behind the scenes to get this, the score. And this is basically just performance we're seeing here, because PageSpeed Insights is really focused on that. And if you want to learn more about what goes into that performance, you can check out, again, WebDev. There's a nice article on sort of how they do the score weighting for performance, and you can see if they got stuff like cumulative layout shift, not giving a whole lot of weight just now, that might decrease. Got your largest contentful paint, really, really important. And so here you can recognize some of the vitals.
And this keeps getting updated, not keeps getting updated, but you know, it
Yes.
used to be something else a couple of months back, right? So they weighted it differently. Exactly.
This is the Lighthouse 6 performance score formula. For version 5, we can look at it down here, see how it has been changing. They introduced cumulative layout shift and the weighing of different things. So before, time to interactive had weighing of 33% of the total score. Now it's only 15. Speed index decreased from 27 in 5 to 15, and so on and so forth. So they always work on this. That's good. We should always value that. So this is about, so now we've covered what it is and how to measure it, at least in an easy way. So I think we can spend a bit of time to see how we in Crystallize try to help you as a developer to get those vitals in place. Sounds good?
Yep, go ahead.
Because we want to. So Crystallize is, we blog about performance. We try to share our thoughts on all of this. So you'll see many of our blog posts are about exactly like how do you design for site speed and blah blah blah. And we do talk about web vitals a lot. So let me cover a few things that will help you along the way. So first of all, our API is really fast. So I think we have here we go. We want to be a product that will deliver you data as soon as possible. If you check out this is a live test of our API right now. We're getting 6 milliseconds, 5, 10. Oh no! So we're trying to be really, really fast with our responses, so that won't slow you down. Essentially, this is sort of helping your largest contentful paint metric. The faster you can respond with data, the better. Second, sometimes you would like a good starting point. So we've made a boilerplate. Let me see, where is that at? I think it's developer guides, or is it open source stuff?
It's in open source, yeah.
There we go. So we got right now Next.js and Gatsby boilerplates that will get you started. And out of the box, they will give you pretty good web vitals. So it's essentially Next.js feed with or fed with Crystallize data. We do add a bit of extra stuff on top for e-commerce, so like payment providers and authentication and stuff like that. But we also make sure that we give you a very good starting point to keep those vitals in place. So also another thing worth mentioning is our API doesn't only come with great speed. We also try to provide you with the best possible solutions for both with text and media and stuff like that. So for instance, for all the media assets that you upload, we will give you, not these guys though, let me just check another one. We will give you a WebP assets as well as your original format. So you would have a really easy time to generate. Oh wait, I think I know how to show you guys. So any image of our blog, obviously we use Crystallize ourselves. So any image on the boilerplate will automatically use all of these wonderful variants for images. It looks a bit messy, I know. But essentially, we're transcoding every image to WebP, and for this case, it's a PNG asset. And this is done on the fly, and we put this on the CDN, and really helping your largest contentful paint metric. The same goes for videos as well. we automatically transcode those. And again, this will definitely help for performance. So that helps with obviously loading, but also we make sure that as a standard in the bullet point, you got your sizes things set up for images. So visual stability, which is the other web vital, is also retained here out of the box. So in essence, that's sort of how we can help you. And we will always push our API towards more developer friendliness. So if you have a suggestions for how we can make it even more friendly to help you as a developer, maybe specifically with some web vitals, we're really happy to take some suggestions from you guys. I think that's it. We can also talk about, we can dive a lot more into performance and talk in details about the bits and bytes flowing around and how sort of we do offer, you know, the boilerplate sort of is tailored to run on Vercel as a hosting provider. We can of course talk about how that affects your vitals as well. But I think for now, this will cover the main topics around the core of web vitals.
That sounds great. I mean, we did cover up some of the things that people are asking. So it's pretty good. Not sure if you want to talk a little bit about the static builds that we talked about.
Sure.
Like at least the idea or the concept behind it, and how this could help essentially.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we've got both a Next.js and a Gatsby boilerplate at the moment, and we're working on more. But so the Gatsby boilerplate is a statically generated thing, which means it's going to output HTML and some JavaScript. It's just going to push that to the edge using Vercel or Netlify or one of these hosting providers. And obviously an SSG version is always going to be fast because it's basically just serving the customer HTML. So that's something where we're trying to make people or developers sort of fast by default, because we're doing the same thing for Next.js. So the Next.js boilerplate also comes with an SSG as a default, which you can turn on or off if you want to, which just by default enables you with great speed. And the obvious benefit here, well, there are many obvious benefits, but obviously the best, like the most important one, is for the user. There is no beating HTML and CSS on the edge. I mean, there's just no way to get that faster. You cannot do SSR faster than that. There's just no chance in hell. So you, as a user, will definitely benefit from SSG. And as a developer, that's also really cool because it enables you, well, we can talk about SSG for a while, but essentially, as a Crystallize tenant or a customer of Crystallize, that it helps you to make sure that you're not hitting our API as frequent as you would have to do if you were doing an SSR application. So that might help your monthly bills in the end if you're not on our very generous free tier, though, I have to say.
Yeah.
So that's the concept of SSG and its sort of rise and a revival to big fame now, and it's become really popular and for very good reason. So this is something we have basically just said, we're just going to do that as a default in all of our boilerplates. Yep.
Awesome. Okay, so I guess that's it for today.
I think so.
Yeah.
I
hope you guys liked what you heard. I mean, Håkon tried to give, not me, quite a bit of info on best practices and things that you should be taking a look at and taking care of. We can't stress enough how important it is, especially for us, this is the game we're playing. So yeah, be sure to check out for more information. We're writing blog posts on that all the time. Any info that we're able to find, we're pushing that out. So be sure to be checking that out. And any questions, the community is open as always. Feel free to reach out to anyone from the team, and we'll be there for you to answer any kind of question. Thank you for joining us today. I hope we'll be speaking again soon in a few weeks with another event. Until then, I wish you well and have a good one.
Yeah.